Hi and welcome to a new section of this course where I will be solving with you 30 questions, frequently asked questions that keep appearing in the real PMP exam. So I want your focus. This section is very important. Understanding the concepts covered in the questions of this section will guarantee you 30 questions in the real PMP exam. Question number 1. During the execution phase of a mega construction project, there are an inordinate number of change requests received. What should the project manager do about that? So you are the project manager of a construction project. There are inordinate number of change requests. There are a lot of change requests. What should you do as the project manager? Like these questions you should expect in the PMP exam. Situational questions, some of them will be wordy and they will ask you about the best action you should do as the project manager. So the project manager can do nothing except process the change through integrated change control. No, this is a very reactive approach and this is not the right answer. Prevent all changes by having solid requirement before start execution. This is not correct. You cannot prevent all changes. Change requests are in the nature of the project management industry, and as a project manager you cannot prevent all changes. Put a limit on the number. It's out of your authority. You cannot put a limit on the number of changes in a project. This is not logic. Find out where the changes are coming from and what could be done to eliminate the root cause of those changes. This is exactly the proper response for the project manager. Here are the steps you should follow in dealing with change requests. The first step is being proactive and preventing the root cause of change requests. Then you will identify and document the change, evaluate the impact of the change, submit the change request to the change control board, perform integrated change control, and the result will be approved, rejected, or deferred. Update the change request status in the change log or the system you are using in the project. Adjust the project management plan, baselines, and project documents according to the change request decision. And finally, communicate the decision with stakeholders and manage their expectations. These are the 8 steps you need to follow in dealing with change requests and traditional environment projects. So the tip or the concept I want you to understand is dealing with change requests and predictive environments. Question number 2, this is a drag and drop question. Regarding the daily stand-up meeting, match the actions on the left to the correct scenarios on the right. So these are scenarios that might occur in a daily stand-up meeting, and on the left column are the proper actions. So let's go through the scenarios. Team member have to work on a code that is not shown on the sprint backlog. It was a customer request. What should the team member do? Escalate, discuss with the owner, create a new user story, or resolve it with the team. As it was a customer request and it does not exist on the sprint backlog, the team member should create a new user story and then it can be discussed with the product owner. So the right action for this scenario is to create a new user story. Code is too complex and needs more than a developer to work on. This is something the team will resolve internally, so you will resolve it with the team. Keep in mind that Agile teams and Scrum teams are self-managed and self-organized. So if the code is too complex and needs more than one developer, it should be resolved within the team. Resources from another team should be provided to finish the work. As we need resources from another team, this issue should be escalated. The product owner or the Scrum Master will resolve this issue with other functional managers. The acceptance criteria of a finished user story created a conflict with another user story. So you have a conflict between 2 user stories. The owner of the product backlog and the user stories on the product backlog is the product owner. So this scenario should be discussed with the product owner. This question is about the daily stand-up meeting, and you should expect a minimum 2 to 3 questions in the PMP exam around this concept. Question number 3, as per the feedback I'm receiving from the students I'm preparing for the exam, this question appears really frequently. The key differences between risks, issues, and triggers. So risk is a fact. Risk is not a fact. The issue is the fact. Risk is uncertain event, okay? So risk is a fact, option A and option D will be ignored. The issue is a fact. Risk is an uncertain event, that's true. A trigger is what we should do when the contingency plan does not work. No. What should we do when the contingency plan does not work is implementing the fallback plan. A trigger is an early warning sign that a risk is about to occur. So option C is the right option. A risk is an uncertain event or condition that, if it occurs, has a positive or negative effect on a project's objective. The issue is a fact, something that already has happened, while the trigger is an indicator that a risk is about to occur or has occurred already. Question number 4. Match the interpersonal and team skills on the left to the correct description on the right. This question is part of the people domain, and you should expect a lot of questions about the interpersonal and team skills as they are heavily used in project management processes. So help bring stakeholders into alignment on the objectives. This is the conflict management. It helps bring stakeholders into alignment on the project objectives, allows informal connections and relations among project stakeholders to be established. This is the networking. It allows informal connections and relations, used to inspire the project team to focus on the appropriate knowledge. This is the leadership. It is used to inspire and motivate the project team, helps the project manager to plan communications based on the project environment. This is the political awareness. The project manager should have this skill to plan communications properly based on the political environment of the organization, helps reduce misunderstandings and improves communication. Being an active listener will help reduce misunderstanding and improve communications. So interpersonal and team skills are very important for the PMP exam. Question number 5. You are using an agile methodology to perform your project. The value of the features completed to date is $100,000. The actual cost expanded to date is $107,000. The team planned on completing 32 story points by this time and have actually completed 33 story points. Which of the following options are true? So this is a multiple response question. You need to select 3 correct options. It's an earned value analysis question in an agile environment. So the value of the features completed to date is $100,000. This is the earned value. The actual cost is $107,000. The team planned, so this is the planned value, on completing 32 story points. But they actually completed 33 story points, so this is the earned value. So planned value is 32, earned value is 33. We can calculate the SPI and determine the status of the project. So CPI is the earned value divided by the actual cost. The earned value given in the question, the value of features completed to date is $100,000. This is the earned value, while the actual cost is $107,000. So the CPI equals the EV divided by AC, it's 0.93. Schedule performance index is calculated, earned value divided by the planned value. In our question, the earned value was given as 33 story points. The team have actually completed 33 story points, and the planned is 32 story points. So you can divide simply 33 by 32, you will have 1.03. So option A is correct, CPI is 0.93. Also, SPI is 1.03, so options A and C are correct. As CPI is less than 1, it means your project is spending more than planned. It's over budget. And the SPI is more than 1, you are ahead of schedule. So the team is ahead of schedule and spending more than planned. Options A, C, and F are the correct answers. So the earned value analysis in agile projects is a potential question in the real PMP exam. Question number 6, match the items on the left to the correct matches on the right. So these are the Scrum and the Agile roles responsible for prioritizing product backlog items. It's the product owner responsibility. He is accountable or she is accountable for prioritizing the product backlog items. An artifact that is used in Scrum projects, this is the sprint backlog. The store of all customer requirements, this is the product backlog. Self-managed and self-organized, this is the development team. Facilitates the implementation of the Scrum framework, this is the responsibility of the Scrum Master. Meeting to review the increment produced in a sprint. This is the sprint demonstration or the sprint review meeting. So Scrum roles and events are important for the exam. A critical path question. For some of my students, they had one question about the critical path, but some students did not have any questions about the critical path. So looking at the following graph, which path is the critical path? So the network diagram is given in the question. We need to determine how many paths we have. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 paths are available on this network diagram. So after determining the 4 paths and summing the duration of the activities on each path, the path with the longest duration is the critical path. And in our situation, it's ADEH with a duration of 34 weeks. All the activities on the critical path have a 0 float. Question number 8. During the initiation phase, the project manager classifying a list of project stakeholders and discovers an interested stakeholder with little authority. How should you manage this stakeholder? So this is a question about the power interest grid or the interest authority grid. The authority level is the power of the stakeholder. So you have a stakeholder interested, so high interest, little authority, so low power. How should we manage this stakeholder? So this is the power interest grid, and you need to understand the strategy you will use with each stakeholder in any of these 4 quadrants. As given in the question, high interest, low power. So high interest with low power should be keep informed. Option D. You need to know the 4 strategies for dealing with stakeholders. Question number 9. Match the risk response strategies on the left to the correct scenarios on the right. So the project manager will do nothing with the probability of heavy or having heavy rain in January. Will do nothing. Doing nothing is an acceptance. So this is the accept. The impact of the risk does not fall within the project manager authority. So you need to escalate this risk. The risk manager recommended to move a team member from the project as she is well known of making troubles. So the project manager decided to remove her from the project. This is an avoidance. The project team decided to buy insurance. Once you see the word insurance or warranty, this is a transfer. The construction manager made sure of having extra concrete layer in the foundations to reduce the impact of earthquakes. Reducing the impact is a mitigation. The tip for this question is the risk response strategies. Another question, while performing quantitative risk analysis in your project, which of the following data representation tools and techniques can be used to take decisions on the high impact risks first? So a data representation tool, all the listed options are data representation tool and techniques, but the one that shows the risks with the highest impact is the tornado diagram, which is an output of the sensitivity analysis. Expect a question in the exam about the tornado diagram.